This video is an introduction to Scratch, and we'll give you a quick tour of the Scratch environment, and then after that, we'll write a simple program. So here we are at Scratch. So Scratch is a very simple, I shouldn't say simple, it's easy to use programming language, but it's also very powerful. So we're going to use it to demonstrate some of these ideas. You can find the Scratch website at scratch.mit.edu. When you get to the website, you have the option to join Scratch. Join Scratch. If you don't have an account, you can click join, create a free account, and then once you do that, you can sign in. So I'm just going to sign in. And once you're signed in, you'll notice at the top here, you have the option to create. So let's click on that Create tab. And this will open up the programming environment. You'll notice here that we have a few things. Maybe we'll start at the top. File, we can create a new file if we want. We can save it now. Scratch does save as you go, but it's not instantaneous. So you may do some work, and before you leave, just make sure that you do save it. Usually there's a button that says Save Now if it hasn't been saved. There's some editing tools and some tutorials. This is where we can name our project. So I'm going to call this Draw a Square. You don't have to give it a name, but if you're looking for it later, that might be helpful. And then you have files over here, so if you can check all of your files and as you work. All right, what else do we have? We're looking at code here. Down the left-hand side, all of these circles indicate basically a selection of tools that control similar things. So you can see there's motion, there's looks, there's sound, and the tools appear in the box right next to that. So you can see all of the coding blocks appear there. So you can actually just scroll through all of them, and as you scroll through, that cursor on the colored dot on the left moves down. But if you wanted to jump without scrolling, you can just click on those individual tools. In the center of the screen, we have the workspace. This is where we'll do our coding. On the right-hand side, we have what's called the stage at the top here. So this is where all of the action for our program is going to happen. And just below the stage, we have some details about, in this case, the sprite that we have, and we can also have some information about the backdrop. So we can change the backdrop just by coming down here, and there's a selection of backdrops. You can create your own backdrop, and you can also do the same for sprites. So you can choose a different sprite if you like. I'm going to just keep it simple. We'll keep Scratch the cat here, and we'll go from there. All right, let's write a program that gets Scratch to move in a square, so to create a square. When we run our program, we typically click on this green flag button. So that's you'll notice here, it says go, so that will start our program. And if we need to stop it for some reason, we can just click on the stop button here. A couple buttons up here that will allow you to change your view as well. So if you're not happy with the view, you can change it there. So what we want to have happen is we want to make sure that when we click on the green flag, things get started. So to do that, we're going to click on the yellow set of tools called events. We're going to drag out this when green flag clicked block. You'll notice the block has a little sort of bump out at the bottom, and some of the blocks, like this one here, have a little indent, and they snap together just like building blocks might. So you don't need that one, but I just wanted to show you that. So first thing, when the green flag is clicked. Next up, we want to go to motion. We'll drag out the first block there that says move 10 steps. Anytime you see a white circle, you can type in any number you want. So even though it said 10 steps, I'm going to do 100. It'll make the square a little bit bigger and a little bit easier for us to see. So the cat's going to move 100 steps. Then we need it to turn 90 degrees. So we're going to grab one of these turn 15 degree blocks. Doesn't matter which way we turn, but we don't want to turn 15 degrees. We want to turn 90 degrees. All right, so far the cat's going to move 100 steps. It will turn 90 degrees. We need to do that a total of 4 times. I have the option of just doing this again. And I should mention I can duplicate. So if I right-click on a set of blocks, the topmost block that I want to duplicate, and choose duplicate, it will give me that, and I can just stick it in there again. I don't want to do that. Instead, we're going to be smart about this and try to be efficient. Under control, we're going to choose the second block down that says repeat. Repeat 10. And we'll just drag, let me do that again. I'm just going to take that repeat 10 and I'm just going to drag it until it goes in right underneath that when the green flag is clicked. And you can see now my 2 blocks of code that I had before fit inside this repeat option. And you saw that by a little shadow that was shown. I don't want to do this 10 times. I want to do it 4 times to make a square. All right, so in theory, when we click on the green flag, it should repeat this stuff inside this repeat block 4 times. Let's do it. Whoa, I don't know if you saw that, but it happened very quickly. We're going to slow things down a little bit. We're going to grab one of we're going to grab the control block at the very top that says wait 1 second, and I'm just going to stick it in after the 90-degree turn. So the cat will move 100 steps, it will rotate 90 degrees, and then it will wait 1 second, and it will do the same thing again. Let's try it and see. So it completed a square, but we don't really see the square. The nice thing about Scratch is that, and coding in general, is that we can see where we've made a mistake or if we've made a mistake. Ideally, it would leave an impression on the screen so we can see where the cat was. And we'll fix that here by basically giving the cat a pen. Now you'll notice through these menus there are no pen tools. But if you move down to the bottom, you'll see this blue button that says Add Extension. If we click on that, there's an extension here, a green one called Pen. So we're going to use that. And there's the third one down says Pen Down. So I'm going to stick that right underneath my green flag being clicked. So the cat's going to put the pen down, follow the rest of our instructions. Let's see what happens. 100 steps, turn 90 degrees, 100 steps, turn 90 degrees. It does that a total of 4 times, ends up back where it started. And you can see now that we had a square. So I've kind of moved the cat out of the way so you can see that. But that's all fine and good. If I run it again though, I kind of moved my cat out of the way so we can see, and I didn't get it quite lined up, but that's okay. But you can see that this previous square is still there. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that at the beginning of our program, we erase anything that was on the stage before. So I'm just going to take this Erase All, so it's at the top of the pen menu, stick it right at the very top. Let's try it again. Here we go. Excellent. So that's how we can make a square. A couple things that might go wrong here as you're playing around. Somehow you might send Scratch, let's try it. You might send Scratch off the screen by accident. So you might type in 1,000 steps and realize that Scratch is now gone. If you want to get Scratch back, you can use these options here. These are the X and Y coordinate of Scratch, and the center of the screen is 0, 0. So if we do that, Scratch will come back onto the screen for us. And again, we can try that again. Oh, I forgot to change that back to 100. Let's try that again. Whoops. Bring Scratch back to 0, 0. And let's try it one more time. There we go. All right, so that's how we can make a square. Here's the challenge for you. What I would like you to do is try to get Scratch to make an equilateral triangle. So a triangle with 3 sides that are the same length. Same principles apply, 3 sides instead of 4, and see how you do. The only other thing I was going to say, if you find that super easy, that would be a 3-sided figure. We've done a 4-sided. Let's move on to a 5-sided. Can you make a regular pentagon? So a 5-sided shape that has all the same side lengths, and keep going as far as you want. So that's the challenge. All the best. I hope it goes well.